So, tell me about your day. How has it been?
Oh, I have a busy day
Uh-oh.
with a lot of reports prepare for lessons for my students.
Okay. Okay. So, is Vietnam experiencing lockdown at the moment?
Yeah, uh, actually, I think I'll be safe now.
Come again, please.
We are safe.
Oh,
We are safe now.
okay. So, people are going about their business, huh?
Um,
Are schools,
I'm working at the,
are,
yeah,
school, are schools going on? Are schools going on in Vietnam?
yeah,
Okay. And so,
yeah. All all the school on uh, next week tomorrow.
okay. Okay. Good. So today you spent time preparing for your class. That should begin tomorrow. Good. So tell me about your class, your students. What age group do you teach? As I understand, you teach mathematics.
Mm, yeah, I take math and science in uh, primary school. They learn about the uh, the people system, the nervous system, the about plants, about some simple math in English.
Okay. So basically, you teach natural sciences. Is that you teach
Yeah,
natural sciences, a kind of biology, but not big biology, but small biology
yeah,
for
it's
little
just
children. Good.
exactly what
Good. So how many pupils do you have in your class? Do you call them pupils or students? What do you call them?
students.
Okay. So how many students do you teach? How many students do you have in your class?
Each class has 30 to 40 students.
Okay, it's quite a large class, huh? And
Yeah,
are you the lone person teaching the students, or do you have an associate teacher that is working
yeah.
with you?
I have an assistant in my class
Okay.
because it's a big class and a lot of small students.
Yeah. So there needs to be two of you to be able to handle the class management.
Yeah, it's difficult for us to handle a big class, so we need a more assistants in a class.
Okay, good. So, what is the teaching language in Vietnam?
Uh, English.
Oh, you use English.
I take English in math and science.
Okay. So, is that the same with other classes and other schools across Vietnam? Do they use English in other
Yeah,
schools in
that's
Vietnam?
no, just oh extra class. Not all the class learning by language English. Just almost is a Vietnamese.
It's mostly Vietnamese language. Okay, good. All right. And does the Vietnamese language have an alphabet?
Yeah.
Great. How
Oh
many,
yeah.
how many characters? How many characters does the Vietnamese alphabet have?
I forget it. I
Okay.
think it's 29, but I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Well, that's an assignment I'm going to give you, okay? So it's good you revisit the basics and then refresh your memory. I know you learned those things way back in elementary school, and because it's been many years, you've probably forgotten some of those. So maybe you want to go back and just check out, right?
Yeah,
Good.
I will.
Super. Great. So today, uh, apparently, we're gonna start the class while we wait for the others to join us. Okay. Share that again. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Good. Good. That is important. All right. Now, last week we kind of very briefly uh, saw an overview, a general overview of what the IELTS training uh, or the IELTS exam is all about. And then we focused more on the listening part. And within the listening part, we tried to focus on the structure of an IELTS listening test recording. And
yes.
yeah, so I just want to very briefly find out if you can remember some of the things that we learned in our last week's class. Uh, and to facilitate that, I will just ask a few questions here. If you can remember, check this one. Sure. Okay. Can you now see what I am highlighting here?
Yeah.
Good,
Recording one. Yeah.
good. So what I was trying to do was to single out this text and put them in green color. Oops, sorry. Put this in green color and put this in green color. So you can see the similarities between these recording one and two.
Yeah.
So you see that the similarity between recording one and two is that both are set in everyday social context.
Is they talk about everyday social context.
Super, super. Very good, very good. And now take note of the similarity. Excuse me, I'm coughing.
Are you
So
okay?
yes, I'm okay. I'm just having a cough, a very light cough. So what you see is a similarity here. I mean, a difference. The difference in red.
The difference is recording one is the conversation, and recording two is just mo,
Monologue.
mono
Log.
monologue.
Very good. Very good, Lisa. That's good. Now, look at look at recording one and recording three. Do you see any similarity between recording one and three?
They both are conversation.
Conversations, good. Now, do you see any similarity between recording two and recording four?
Yeah,
What are
they are
they?
both
Mon-
monologue.
Monologues. Good. Very good. Um, and now, how about the similarity between recording three and recording four? What similarity do you see?
The topic they are talking about is educational or training context or academic subject.
Good. So they are both set in a school scenario, a school context. Very good, Lisa. Very good. So that's basically what I wanted you to note uh, in recapitulation of our lesson of last class. So now let me take you back to our lesson of last week. Oh, sorry, our lesson of this week, not last week. Um, can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Good,
contents of an IELTS listening test recording, right?
good, good. So that is our focus for today. That is our focus today because last week we saw structure of an IELTS listening test, and today we're looking at content of an IELTS listening test recording. So, the objective of today's class, my hope is that by the end of the class, you should be able to identify and note the main idea discussed in an IELTS listening test audio recording. So, when you listen to an IELTS listening test audio recording, you want to find out what the main idea is about. What is the speaker talking about? Okay? So that's what I want you to be able to note by the end of today's class. And
Yeah.
of course, I also want you to note, identify, and note the detailed information given about the main idea. So after noting
Yeah.
the main idea, you want to find out what other things have been said about the main idea. Okay? So that's basically the
Yeah.
two-point objective of today's class. Note and identify, or identify and note the main idea, and then identify and note the detailed information given about the main idea. Because basically that's what listening skills are about. You get a big picture idea, and then you get the what you may call the detailed information given about the main idea that you capture from listening to an audio recording.
Yeah.
So can you read this?
Yeah. You will listen to 4 recordings. As you listen to the recordings, take notes and discuss the answers to the questions below. First of all, take a look at the questions to know what you will be looking out for.
Good, very good. So these are just some questions I prepared to guide us as we listen to the audio recordings. We're not going to listen to 4 recordings so that we can be able to have a shorter time for our class, and then you can go to rest. I know you've had a very busy day, and you should be preparing for a very busy day tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we're going to listen to just, let's say 3 or 2. Yeah, 3. Because I want you to get one example, and then we're going to get 2 other examples for some practical exercises. So just take a look at these questions. You're not going to read them, but just take a look at them in the next 1 minute, and afterwards you can tell me if you're done reading them, and
Yeah.
then I can play an audio recording for you to listen while you take notes.
Yeah.
To see if you can identify all of this information.
Yeah.
Inside. All right.
Please give me a minute to take note.
Yes. So you have 1 minute to just take note of these 8 questions. And when you're done, let me know, okay?
Yeah.
Good.
I have finished.
Oh, great, great. So I'm going to play a sample recording for you to listen. And as you listen, see if you can identify answers to those questions, okay?
Yeah.
And then we can discuss them later. So I'm going to play the audio right away.
Section 2. You'll hear an introduction to a conference on computer system language learning. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to the 2nd Annual Wallabaloo Conference on Mastering Computer Languages. I hope you all had a good trip. Before we get underway with today's programme, let me fill you in as to what's on tap for tomorrow, Sunday, February 19th. At 9 a.m, right here in the main hall, we'll be hearing a lecture from Dr. John Smith about computer as teacher. Professor Smith from the University of Melbourne is a world-class expert in the field of computer-assisted education, and his talk promises to be both stimulating and informative. Immediately afterwards, at 10:30, there will be a presentation of papers by various delegates. That, however, will take place in the garden room on the ground floor. If you don't yet know, the garden room is also called the ballroom, and will be gathering at the west end, the slightly raised area called Level 2. Just look for the crowd. If you get lost, there are signs in the foyer. After all that thinking, talking and listening, I expect everyone will be a bit weary. So at 11:15 there will be a break for coffee, cookies and other light refreshments. These will be available at the aptly named refreshment stand, placed by the door back here in the main hall. Also, if you choose to skip the formal lunch, you can buy a packed lunch at the stand for a reasonable price. I strongly urge you, however, to join us at the formal lunch. That won't be till 1 o'clock sharp, so you have time to stroll about town a bit. We'll be eating at the Seaview restaurant. The restaurant is located right here in the hotel on the top floor. It's a good dozen flights of stairs, so I suggest you take the lift on the ground floor, eh? If you're not fond of fish, there's an all-you-can-eat barbecue available as well. They even offer wallaby meat. After lunch, we'll troop back downstairs to level 2 in the ballroom for the presentation of further papers, which will begin at 2 p.m. Please try to be on time. I know you'll be a bit tired after lunch, but the ballroom echoes so with people coming in late. Thank you in advance. Once we've heard the papers, we'll break for afternoon tea at 3:10 p.m. No need to walk. The manager of the refreshment stand has graciously agreed to have tea served in the ballroom. He's even promised us some special scones, baked from a recipe of his dear old Scottish grandmother. Then, tea being drunk and scones munched, we'll retire here to the main hall for some closing remarks and questions. So, by 5 o'clock, we should have the conference wrapped up. But the fun isn't over. This is Australia, mates. We'll be flocking to the hotel's own Palm Lounge on the east side of the foyer for an informal reception. You can relax, mingle with the other delegates and let your hair down a bit. This will run from 5:10 to 6:10, though you're free to stay as long as you like. The lounge manager has informed me that for the duration of the actual reception, you can have all-you-can-drink beer for $20 with purchase of an advance ticket.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
And yes, tickets can be purchased from any conference organiser or at the front desk any time between now and the start of the reception. I suggest you come by tomorrow evening to pick up the tickets, since the conference hall only holds 800 people. That way you can also get your journey planned ahead of time and be sure not to miss this truly memorable conference. If you want cocktails, however, I'm sorry, you'll have to pay for those at the regular price. Oh my goodness! Speaking of paying, I see I forgot to tell you a couple of things. The first is about lunch. The charge for the lunch will be $15 for all you delegates. If you have guests with you, the cost is $25 for the general public and $6.50 for children under the age of 10. That's $15 each, not total for everyone. Another item is about the lunch menu. I very much urge you to try the fish. I mean, look at the restaurant's name, the Seaview. As the name suggests, it is a famous seafood restaurant. The chef is a Basque from Spain, and he really gets quite put out when people ignore his fish specialities for burgers or barbecue. If fish isn't your thing, though, try the steak. He makes an exquisite filet mignon topped with blue cheese and mushrooms. Finally, if you'd like to buy a ticket, you can have both lunch and unlimited beer for $35. I should have mentioned that earlier, but I am a bit forgetful. Maybe I should avoid the beer after the conference, eh? Well, I've said my bit. Are there any questions?
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right. So, did you take down some notes, Lisa?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
But
So share with me
not much.
globally what you were able to take down.
I see the question 1 is a monologue.
Okay.
Only a government talking.
Good. Super. Good. Question 2.
And C is inviting and recommendation about a system of like a hotel and restaurant.
Okay. So it's a conference, and the speaker is disclosing an agenda to the participants of the conference. Is that an idea that you have
Yeah,
in your mind? Okay.
she's explained a lot of things and she give a lot of information about each level and its service.
Good.
And he give the custom the time, the correct time, and how to buy the tickets.
Yes. Good. Good. So is that all you could notice? Is there some
And
more?
I think she's really happy to introduce to everybody that the price of the lunch at campus.
Correct.
At the reception, we can buy something anytime,
So she
and
has.
we can eat lunch, and we have famous seafood, mushroom, and beer. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Is there any more?
Yeah, but she give a lot of reason for saying this topic. She give a details, specific information to prove what she talking about.
Okay. Good. 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 Is that it? Is that it? Do you have some more?
I heard she's talking about barbecue.
Yes.
I think she love it. Yes, that's it.
Okay. Good. You were able to capture quite a lot, huh?
But it's in mess up the
Yes.
information.
Yes, it's not organized. And that is the essence of our practice sessions. Okay, we're going to practice how to take note of this coherent information that needs to be developed in a very coherent manner. So good, that was very good, Lisa. I appreciate your keenness and attentiveness in taking down this information. All right, so um, let me take you to this page so you can, in theory, see what we're trying to to find out in today's lesson. Now, the things that you should note when you listen to an audio recording. When you listen to an audio recording, assessors will be looking for evidence of your ability to understand the main idea in the audio recording. Okay? So the people who evaluate your listening skills of finding out if you are able to understand the main idea expressed in the audio recording. They are also finding out if you are able to note the detailed factual information that support the main idea. They are also finding out if you are able to capture the speaker's opinions relating to the main idea. What is their opinion about what you're saying? They also want to find out if you are able to capture the attitude or attitudes of the speaker or speakers relating to the main idea. Are they happy about it? Are they sad about it? Are they excited about it? Are they angry about it? And then the assessors or the evaluators are also wanting to find out if you are able to decipher the purpose for which something is said, so the purpose of an utterance. So if a speaker said something, they want to find out if you can capture the reason for which that speaker said whatever they said. Okay? So if Peter says, I didn't come to class today because I was sick, the evaluators want to find out if you were able to note the reason why Peter didn't come to class. All right? Okay. And lastly, the assessors or the evaluators, are trying to find out if you have the ability to follow development of ideas, the coherent development of ideas. So they want to be sure that you have the skill to systematically record information from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4, blah, 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 as they go. And so let me try very briefly to explain to you the meaning of all of this. When we talk of a main idea, what are we talking about? What are we referring to? A main idea is basically what the speaker or the speakers are talking about, right? So it's the general idea, okay? And in the case of the recording that we just listened, the main idea there would be, can you remember? What would be the main idea in the recording that we just listened?
The main idea of the recording one is the campus system.
Okay. Yes, you're right.
I'm not sure about this question.
You're right. Yeah, the main idea is basically, it's a conference, okay? It's a meeting, it's a conference that has participants who are coming to learn about computer systems, all right? So we would say the main idea is a conference on computer systems in one sentence. A conference on computer systems, okay? All right. It would appear we have a new person in class. Let's see, there is Pedro Constantino, who is trying to join us. Let me try to get him in. Hello, Pedro, are you with me? Okay,
Hello.
I can, yeah, hi. Can you see me?
Yep,
Good, good, welcome to class.
I'm here.
Can you see me, Pedro?
Yes,
Good.
I'm seeing you.
All right. We have Lisa in class. Can you see Lisa?
Yep.
Good. Hello, Lisa. Can you see Pedro?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes,
Good.
I can see the lesson.
Oh, good. So, Lisa, here is Pedro. Pedro was absent in our last class.
I can hear you.
Good. So, I'm introducing Pedro to you, and to say Pedro comes from Brazil. He was part of our first class, but he missed our last class. So he's joining us today to continue with our series on IELTS training. So Pedro, this is Lisa from Vietnam, and she took part in our class last week, and she's been very actively participating, engaged. So she's been. Can you mute your mic, Pedro? There is a lot of noise on the background. Please mute your mic.
Sorry, Kennedy.
Yeah, can you please mute your mic? There is noise on the background, so that we can continue our class without the background noise.
Teacher
Yes.
you can unmute all the participants.
Okay. Mute the microphone.
Yes, mute your microphone. Good.
Okay.
Good. Good. So, just try to catch up with the class from where we are, Pedro, and then at the end of the class, I'm going to send you a recording of what Lisa and I have been discussing so far. Okay. Great. So, Lisa, are you there?
Yeah.
Good. So what I was saying is that the main idea in any recording that you're going to listen to would be what the speaker or the speakers are talking about. And you rightly pointed out that in the recording which we just listened to, the main idea is a conference on computer systems. And whatever the lady is saying about that conference would be the detailed factual information that we are seeking to get. And this detailed factual information could come in the form of explanations, they could come in the form of examples, they could come in the form of illustrations, they could come in the form of descriptions, they could come in the form of arguments. Okay? So the detailed information that comes to support the main idea could come in any of these forms. And the assessors are actually also looking out and checking out if you're able to notice the opinion of the speaker. So the opinion of the speaker could be the views. What are their views relating to the main topic? What are their thoughts? What are their observations relating to the main topic? They want to find out if you can note all of that. They're also seeking to find out if you are able to note the attitudes, that is the behaviors of the speakers relating to the main topic, or the characters of the speakers relating to the main topic, their approach, their feelings, okay? What they feel and think about that main topic. And of course, the assessor is also trying to find out if you are able to take notes of the reason why speakers say the things that they say. And of course, lastly, development of ideas has to do with the step-by-step elaboration of the speaker's idea or thought. So they want to find out if you're able to take notes of the logical or coherent development of the speaker's expose, of the speaker's development of the main idea that they're exposing on. So, in a general sense, these are the things that you should be noting whenever you're listening to a recording, and it is always facilitated for you. This activity is facilitated for you in the question answer sheet that will be given to you. The question and answer sheet is always going to have some information that will help you determine what the main idea is about and what the detailed information in the recording are. And you're only going to have to fill the missing information in those question and answer sheets. When we get to our practical exercise or practical activities, you will have a better understanding of what I am trying to say. Okay?
Yes.
Good. Do you have any questions for me so far, Lisa?
What exactly the meaning of utterance? Utterance.
Okay. An utterance is something that is said, a saying. Okay? It comes from the verb to utter. To utter is to say something. Right? Good. So it's good. It's synonymous to the verb to say. What are you saying? What did teacher utter? What are you uttering? An utterance, a saying. All right? Good. All right. Any other question, Lisa?
But sometimes I miss some information, and I cannot connect the speech of the speaker. So I think I am going to misunderstanding.
Yes, yes. For now, you have that challenge because uh, you do not have a question and answer sheet in front of you to guide you on the coherent flow of information as broadcasted in the audio recording. When we go to start doing the practical activities on our IELTS listening preparation classes, things will be much easier for you because you're going to have uh, an answer sheet with some information to help you determine which exact information to note because you're not going to be listening to everything said inside. Well, you're going to listen to everything said inside the audio recording, but you're not going to be required to write out details of whatever or of everything that has been said in the audio recording. So you're going to have to just pick out pieces of information in the recording and fill
Yeah,
into, yeah.
I
So
see.
good. So for now, I'm just trying to help you and other candidates or students in this class to have a big picture or an understanding of what to expect when you get into an IELTS listening test. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So Pedro, at any moment, if you have a question to ask me or if you have something to contribute to the class, please just unmute your mic and then you can say what you have to say and then you can mute it back. That is in case if there is no noise on your background. Okay, Pedro?
Hey teacher,
Yes.
I don't have any questions, but I have the same question of Lisa. What
Okay.
is uterance of the purpose of uterance? It's
Yes.
the
Yes. So I was saying that,
the purpose. Um,
yeah, the purpose of an utterance. I was saying to Lisa that an utterance is something that you say. It comes from the verb to utter. To utter is to speak out, to say something verbally or orally. Okay?
okay, teacher.
Good. So when you're listening to an IELTS recording, an IELTS listening recording, the assessor will be trying to find out from you if you are able to make out the purpose for which a speaker utters something, the purpose for which a speaker says something, the reason why do they say what they say. All right. I could give further explanations to you in another time, but for now, you can unmute your mic again and then you can continue following the class as I interact with Lisa. Okay.
Okay,
Good. Thank you for unmuting your mic. Great.
you're welcome.
Good. So let's move on. All right, Lisa, are you there?
Yeah.
Good. Good. So I have these two recordings that I want you and Pedro to listen to. So I'm going to play this recording. You're going to listen to see if you can identify this main idea in the recording. And you're also going to listen to see if you can identify all of these other,
I'm back, teacher. Sorry.
yeah, you're going to find out if you can identify these other uh, detailed information here, okay? So the audio is going to be talking about the National Arts Center. Pedro is familiar with this audio because he listened to it last class or the class before last. And they're going to be
Yes,
telling us about,
I remember.
yeah, they're going to be telling us about the fame of the National Arts Center They're also going to be telling us about the structure of the National Arts Center. And then they're going to be telling us about the history of the National Arts Center, the management of the National Arts Center, and the activities of the National Arts Center. So as you listen to the audio recording, try to pick out the information that is given about the fame of this art center. Pick out
I
information
have
that
a
is...
question.
Yes, Lisa. Go ahead.
What is fame? What does it mean?
Fame. Yeah, it is the noun form of the adjective to be famous. So
Famous.
to be famous,
Yeah, I got it.
a celebrity. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, that which is renowned, it is well known by lots of people. That which is popular is said to be famous. All right. So when something is famous, we will say it has fame. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Are you
Like a
famous?
singer.
Like a singer. Good. Good. Thank you for understanding. So I'm gonna look for this recording. No, let me go to my folder here and pick out the recording. The National Arts Center. All right, so it's gonna play in a few seconds, and then you can listen.
Section 2. You will hear a radio broadcast called Focus on the Arts. First, you have some time to look at...
Can you hear? Hello, Lisa, can you hear the recording?
Yes.
Good. Hello, Pedro, can you hear the recording?
Yes, it's
Good.
very I can hear perfectly.
Good,
Okay.
wonderful. Good, thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to play right now.
Section 2. You will hear a radio broadcast called Focus on the Arts. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16 on page 4. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, and welcome to Focus on the Arts. I'm your host, Dave Green, and this is your very own local radio programme. Every Friday evening, we put the spotlight on different arts and culture facilities and look at the shows and events that are on offer in the coming week. And today, the focus is on the National Arts Centre. Now, if you don't already know it yourself, I'm sure you've all heard of it. It's famous throughout the world as one of the major venues for classical music. But did you know that it's actually much more than just a place to hear concerts? The centre itself is a huge complex that caters for a great range of arts. Under a single roof it houses concert rooms, theatres, cinemas, art galleries and a wonderful public library, as well as service facilities including 3 restaurants and a bookshop. So, at any one time, the choice of entertainment there is simply enormous. So, how did they manage to build such a big arts complex right in the heart of the city? Well, the area was completely destroyed by bombs during the war in 1940. So the opportunity was taken to create a cultural centre that would be what they called the city's gift to the nation. Of course, it took a while for such a big project to get started, but it was planned in the 60s, built in the 70s, and eventually opened to the public in 1983. Ever since then, it has proved to be a great success. It's not privately owned, like many arts centres, but is still in public hands. It's run by the City Council. Both our National Symphony Orchestra and National Theatre Company were involved in the planning of the project, and they're now based there, giving regular performances every week. And as the centre is open 363 days of the year, there are plenty of performances to choose from.
Before you hear the rest of the broadcast, you have some time to look at questions 17 to 20 on page 5. Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20.
So, to give you some idea of what's on, and to help you choose from the many possibilities, we've made a selection of the star attractions. If you're interested in classical music, then we recommend you go along to the National on either Monday or Tuesday evening at 7:30 for a spectacular production of The Magic Flute, probably the most popular of all Mozart's operas. It's in the Garden Hall, and tickets start at only £8, but you'll have to be early if you want to get them that cheap. And remember, it's only on for those 2 evenings. For those more interested in the cinema, you might like to see the new Canadian film, which is showing on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. in Cinema 2, and that's called 3 Lives. It's had fantastic reviews, and tickets cost just £4.50, which is a reduction on the usual price of £5.50. So, it's really good value, especially for such a great movie. But you can see the centre's main attraction at the weekend, because on Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m, they're showing a wonderful new exhibition that hasn't been seen anywhere else in Europe yet. It's a collection of Chinese art called Faces of China. That's in Gallery 1, and it has some really fascinating paintings and sculptures by leading artists from all over China. And the good news is that it's completely free, so don't miss it. So why not go along to the National Arts Centre next week for one or all of these great events? And you can always pick up a programme and check out all the other performances and exhibitions on offer, or coming soon, on almost every day of the year. Next week, we'll be looking at the new Museum of Science.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right. So you listened to that, Lisa and Pedro, and were you able to recognize the main idea and the detailed information as listed on the page in front of you? So,
Hey, teacher.
yes, let's listen to Pedro. Yes, go ahead.
And the answers
Yes, yes,
of the podcast.
yes.
Okay.
What is the National Arts Center famous for?
Classical music.
Okay, good.
Classical music.
It's famous for classical music. All right. So, Lisa, let's now get from Lisa.
Yep.
Lisa, what did you get? What information did you take notes concerning the structure of the National Arts Center?
I heard about a man talking about radio. It's a radio broadcast about music, and there has a lot of thing that's include concert room, public libraries, and he talked about the time to go there. And he gave many ideas about and recommendation about the price and time, Monday, Tuesday, evening, Wednesday, and the time is available to visit, to listen to.
Oh, okay, good. You've covered more than what I wanted to hear, but it's okay. I wanted you to focus more on the structure of the National Arts Center and that information you've been able to give, which is good. So let us find out, Pedro, what could you note regarding the history of the National Arts Center?
The history when they are destroyed by bombs, when they are created, then was planned and opened.
Okay.
They are destroyed by bombs in 1940, and the center was planned in the 60s and opened in 1983.
1983.
Right?
Yes, you're right. You're right, Pedro. Good. That's good. All right, Lisa. What did you note regarding the management of the National Arts Center. Who manages the National Arts Center, Lisa?
I miss it.
Okay, you missed it. All right, let's see if Pedro was able to get it. Were you able to get it, Pedro?
The manager, the management.
Yes, yes. Who manages it?
And they are it are managed by the city council.
The city council.
I
Okay,
remember.
good. Okay, good. The city
Yeah.
council. All right. So Lisa already told us about the activities of the National Arts Center, and it is contained in that second part of it, in which there are a number of events that have been planned, and all of that.
Uh,
Yeah. Yes,
yeah,
Lisa. Good.
I see that have Chinese art,
Mm-hmm.
movies,
Yeah.
and what else? I got to Chinese art and movies.
Oh, okay.
And
Good. Great.
that's all.
Good. So basically, the point of today's class was so that you should be able to, one, listen to an audio recording like we just did, and be able to identify the main idea, the main topic, what the speaker is talking about, the big picture, and then to find out the detailed information that the speaker is talking about regarding the main idea. And this was a good case study that we used. Uh, there is a second audio recording that I wanted you to listen, uh, but we will not have time to listen to that right now because we've just had a power shutdown in our neighborhood. If you would notice, the lighting that was in front of me has gone dim. Are you able to see me well again?
Yeah.
Okay, because I am using a torch. Because because the light has been taken away. So I just turned on the torch that was close to me here. And the power of my computer is not gonna last that long if I continue with the class. So we're gonna stop the class right now, and then we will program another class next Sunday. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Good.
So
But
do you post the class on YouTube and Web Talk?
yes, I will do that on YouTube and Web Talk as
Okay,
soon
teacher.
as.
Sorry for I was late in the class. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I understand that depending on your schedule and your activities, you weren't able to make it to class. The good thing is that you came and you were able to catch up, and you will be able to follow the other part of the lesson that you missed when I post it on YouTube and onto Web Talk. So let us
Teacher,
recap.
I'm with my friends. Can I show you for you, my friends?
Well, I hope they can be able to see me. I am using just a torch, so I hope that my face is clear
Yeah,
enough for
teacher.
them to see me. All
Yeah,
right.
we are
Okay.
here.
Okay, I see them.
Say hello.
Hello. Hey, how are you? Hey, hello. I'm happy to see you all. Oh, good. Wonderful. Okay,
I
Pedro.
will teach them to practice English and
Yes.
etc.
Yes, yes. Invite them to class next time if they are available so we can go ahead together. Okay. So I was saying that for today's class, we had we were looking at the content of an IELTS listening test recording. Last week, we saw the structure of an IELTS listening recording. Today, we saw the content of an IELTS listening test recording.
The
In
content
our
of the understand
Yes,
the listening.
structure and content. Next class, we are going to be looking at the layout of an IELTS listening test question and answer sheet. So we're going to be looking detailedly as to the physical layout of the question and answer sheet that is given to you with some information and other spaces that are empty for you to fill out the missing information after you listen to an audio recording. But that will be the third point on under our listening section of the IELTS exam. So make it to class next Sunday, same time, 5 p.m. Cameroon time. I'm going to program the class for just an hour and not more so that we can finish fast and then, of course, Lisa can go to sleep because in Vietnam, it's quite late now in Vietnam. She should go to bed. All right. Thank you again for
It's
your...
half past 12.
Come again.
It's
Hello?
half past 12.
It's 12:30 in 12 a.m. in Vietnam. So it's
Yeah.
midnight. It's midnight. So you need to go to bed so you can rest well. Thank you for your availability and for participating in today's class. Take care of yourselves, protect yourselves and your families from the coronavirus. And I hope to see you next class. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, teacher. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Pedro.
Bye, Lisa.